Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes, of course, here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo and Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys and you ladies, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods here on this hump day. And I hope that things are looking up for you in Texas. I know it is terrible right now. A lot of you are without power or heat and everything else. Hopefully, the storm that's coming through is not real bad that you're getting right now, and that things will start getting better and better and better. I know it's rough if you've never been through something like this, and trying to everybody's looking to point fingers and everything else. The bottom line is this: of all the things that you look at, if you are in Texas, is saying we got to worry about having sub-zero temperatures and a blizzard. It shouldn't be on the list. I just can't see it being on the list. Not when you know that gets like 20 days in a row with 100-degree temperatures. You just don't expect that to have to plan for that. But in this day and age where everything is upside down, in the future we're going to need to start looking at everything, every which way, and it just is what it is. Hopefully we'll get through it and we'll be better because of it. So right now, we are 1 month away from the beginning of free agency. This is the NFL offseason. It doesn't feel like an offseason. This is not like baseball offseason or basketball offseason. This is the NFL offseason. We're 2 weeks in, and it's been crazy on a daily basis with the amount of stuff that's been going on. We still are trying to figure out, is Carson Wentz ever going to get traded? We're hearing that the Carolina Panthers may be making, and this is where you don't know if it's true or not. We hear a rumor, we know about, we hear a rumor that the Carolina Panthers are going to try and go all in to try and make a move for Deshaun Watson. How many times have we heard that one? Of course, we hear the Seattle Seahawks. We're getting calls, but we're not trading Russell Wilson. And of course, on a daily basis, we hear some jackass that will say the Cowboys should sign Dak Prescott and trade him to, we've heard, to Houston. And it'd be like, he ain't going there. To the Bears. He ain't going there either. So we'll see where they say today. But since we are so close to a lot of things happening, we're 6 days away from being able to designate franchise tag players. We're still somewhere close to figuring out where the salary cap is going to be, and the NFL and the NFL Players Association are a little bit worried. It's not going to be the 175. They're estimating somewhere like 180, 181. But the problem is it's going to create a second-class citizen as far as free agents go. Teams like the Eagles, who are trying to package up, Zach Ertz and Carson Wentz and get rid of and unload a lot of these contracts. There's so many teams that will not have money to spend on free agents. There's so many teams that will have to jettison good veteran players to get under the cap. I have a sneaking feeling, okay? I haven't heard this from anybody or anything, but I don't think the NFL will want to have salary cap Armageddon. That you'll have all of these players, and I don't think the NFLPA wants this either, because they want their players to be paid. I think the NFL and the NFLPA may come to some kind of agreement to bump it up just a little bit extra, maybe get it to about 190, because they're looking at this. The ultimate thing is the product they're putting out on the field. It's the bottom line. They know that gambling is becoming king, and they're getting paid for that. They know the money is coming. They know the future is there, is been being paid. So when you know the future is there, well, you can get a loan. You can see the business model. You go to the bank, hey, here's my idea on how I can make money and pay your loan back. Bank says, okay, here's the money. Go ahead and do it. And I think that's going to happen, and I think that's one of the reasons why you're seeing people taking time before they're getting these big contracts. They want to know exactly how much money they're going to be able to spend. And that relates to Dak Prescott as well. The Cowboys, for a multitude of reasons, haven't been ready to just jump in and do that contract for Dak. They want to, A, see how that ankle's healing, B, try and figure out where the money's going to be going. And that's where we go with that. And speaking of money, Pro Football Focus, I did a video last night about it. They came up with an estimate of paying Xavier Woods $6.5 million a year for 4 years. I think that is way, way off more than the value, but especially in a year where the salary cap is not growing, this is going to be one of those cases where you're going to see a lot of veteran players, good players, like Ndamukong Suh, has signed for $8.5 million or $8 million with Tampa Bay. When guys like him are on this road, on the streets this year, really good veteran free agents, they're probably going to end up getting about half what they do in a regular year. Teams just aren't going to have the cash, and teams are going to be reluctant to spend a lot of that cash. So, that being said, I just want to take a look at some of the busts in free agency. There's a great list. I wish I had enough time, but I got to get to the doctor, get my knee looked at. But some of the biggest busts in free agent history where guys thought that, hey, this is the guy, and teams overpaid, just as a forewarning. There's Javon Walker, the Raiders. There's a theme in here, and if you go through, you see certain teams that have gone through and spent a lot of money on free agent busts. The Oakland Raiders came up big when it came to free agent wide receiver Javon Walker because, of course, they always won. 6-year, $55 million deal. Now, of course, this is many years ago. The Raiders guaranteed 60 of his contract. He played in 8 games, scored 1 touchdown, and 15 catches for 196 yards. Literally. Yeah. So Walker was paid, to make a long story short, $21 million for 15 catches and 1 touchdown. Literally $1 million a catch. Wow. Andre Rison, better known as Bad Moon Rising, who his girlfriend from TLC burned his house down. 1995, the Cleveland Browns were looking for an impact player on offense, and they saw Rison out there from the Falcons. Rison, All-Pro 4 straight years, and All-Pro 4 straight years, and a Pro Bowler. Okay, let's get down to the meat of this. So how did he perform for the Browns? He caught 47 passes for 701 yards and 3 touchdowns. Wow. And Cleveland left and became the Baltimore Ravens. He got cut. Dana Stubblefield. This is what's really cool. The Washington football team. We won't say Redskins anymore. We're sitting here coming down the home stretch of this. Okay, Dana Stubblefield, who played great defensive tackle for the 49ers, he was named Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year. This is what's crazy. Stubblefield, a free agent. Dan Snyder signed him for a 6-year, $36 million deal in '98. Okay, so this is a long time ago. But the most laid-back plans of men and mice often go astray. Stubblefield wasn't able to maintain his level of play in San Francisco, and he wound up right back with the 49ers. He did nothing. This was one, Adam Archuleta. This is crazy because Washington's basically almost everybody Washington signs. Adam Archuleta, they paid a deal, $35 million, 7-year deal. And again, this is a while ago, so it doesn't sound like much now, but at the time, it was a lot. He was awful. Awful. He did nothing. And, of course, the worst was Albert Haynesworth. Albert Haynesworth, who signed a $100 million contract, got 35 of it for 2 years, and literally, and I mean literally, laid on his ass while Michael Vick ran circles around him. I was there. I witnessed it. He literally did nothing and took the money. So I bring those up. And this may be where the Dallas Cowboys think that they're smarter than everybody else. You know, there's a lot of bust out there in free agency. We're going to stay away from the big time guys because we don't want to end up on this list with the Washington football team. We're smarter than everybody else. So what we'll do is we'll just take a little bit of money and just put a little bit over there in free agents. Well, the problem with that is the guys that you invest in are has-beens, washed up, or never was. And in the end, when you look at the $22 million of dead money that we're carrying this year, you honestly have to say, maybe if you had said of gotten like, say, Dur Worley or and Dontari Poe, you'd actually invested in somebody like Ndamukong Suh. That would have been a better investment, saying, let me go for, quality instead of quantity. Yeah, we're going to take a risk. We're going to take a flyer. Sometimes it doesn't work out. It's like draft picks. Sometimes you get great draft picks. Sometimes you get bust. But you still have to play because you have to use all the teams afforded, all the tools afforded to you to try and build a team. That's the draft. That is developing your own players. That's undrafted free agents. And it's going for some good free agents as well. With that being said, I am out of here, and I hope to see you guys real soon. Be safe out there. Prayers for everybody out there dealing with COVID, dealing with lack of employment, and, of course, the damn cold. I'll see you